All right, so we are here at the Veterans in Politics interviews for all the judges. Could you introduce yourself?
I am Erika Mendoza. I'm the current sitting judge in Department 27 of the District Court.
Great, great. Could you tell us a little bit about your positions, your bio, just a brief background on your history?
So I was appointed to District Court 27 earlier this year by Governor Lombardo. And prior to that, I had been a career prosecutor in the district attorney's office. So I've been helping this community ever since I graduated law school. Outside of my professional life, I have been in Las Vegas for close to 20 years, and I'm married to a born and raised Las Vegan and local business owner, and we have two young sons.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we're talking about. I was hanging out here with some of the judge candidates, and we're talking about trust in the judiciary. How right now there's a lack of trust, perhaps. Could you tell us a little bit about your thoughts on that topic?
So I certainly understand the frustration there. I think a lot of it stems from misunderstanding of how cases are often handled and what actually happens in the courtroom. So I always encourage people to come down and see what we do every day. Obviously, the courtroom is an open place, and to come and see what actually happens as opposed to what you might read in different media outlets. Also, anyone who you know in the legal community who you can get actual firsthand experience from is always a great resource to talk to. And during this whole campaign process, it's been a great opportunity to get out and meet people in the community, and I've been loving to take advantage of that opportunity to try and clear up any misconceptions about people's concerns in the judicial system.
In terms of what you would do, approach your position, how you would do it maybe differently, or how you try to improve upon the past. Is there any comments you have, two or three things that that sets you apart from other candidates?
So, my specifically courtroom experience as opposed to just legal experience is incredibly important as a judge because it's not just that you need to be familiar with the laws, you need to know how to run a courtroom. So if you haven't spent a lot of time in an actual courtroom, it can be really hard to learn how to do that job as a judge. When you're presiding over a trial, these attorneys have prepared the case for years, and you're having to make decisions very quickly on the fly about, is this piece of evidence going to be admitted? Is that hearsay objection going to be overruled or sustained? And if you're not familiar with that process yourself, there's no way you're going to be able to make those decisions quickly, efficiently, accurately on the bench. And if you get it wrong, the whole thing could blow up on appeal. So it's incredibly important to have that courtroom experience. As a prior district attorney, I was in the courtroom almost every single day. I wasn't just sitting in an office, reading and writing. I was in preliminary hearings, I was in sentencings, I was in trials, I was in grand jury presentations. So that is all incredibly important for a judge. Also, having the criminal experience is obviously crime is a huge issue for a lot of people right now. We've been heading in the wrong direction for several years. So, having that background to really be able to identify who amongst our defendants are causing a real public safety problem is really important. So, I take that very seriously. I would also say my strongest asset is my work ethic. I might not always be the smartest person or the most experienced person in the room, but you're never going to find anybody who outworks me.
That's awesome. One last question. So, the complaint I've heard from veterans in politics quite a bit, though, is that some judges are either appointed or they win the position, but then there seems to be a lack of understanding of law, or maybe perhaps they are disregarding the most basic law. What do you think's happening there, and how can we improve that?
So, obviously, most attorneys don't handle or all different kinds of law. Most of us it's kind of specialized in one area. So no matter who you get, whoever is on the bench is going to be less experienced in one area or another. What I will say, as coming from someone with a criminal as opposed to a civil experience, is we've had a number of prosecutors who have gone on to be really successful judges who the civil bar loves. Judge Barker, Judge Wall, Judge Herndon, Judge Bluth, Judge Tagliati. All those people made amazing transitions from criminal law to presiding over civil cases as well. And what I have personally done to make up for what I lack in experience for civil is before I even took the bench, when I was going through the appointment process, is I went and I sat and observed just several different civil judges' calendars. And before I even went in there, I researched the issues that I knew were going to be at hand and kind of took notes about what I thought would happen and where things deviated. I went back and I researched about it afterwards. I even had the opportunity to sit down and talk with some of those judges. I sat and watched almost a whole civil trial before I started. And I have just continued to do exactly what I have done throughout my entire life when I am confronted with a new goal, which is I prepare, I work hard, and ultimately I succeed. So that's my plan for the civil side of things, and I think it's going great so far. I've really enjoyed my calendar is split civil and criminal, so I've really enjoyed the challenge of learning about civil, and the cases that come before me are really interesting, and I'd like to.
Awesome, awesome. Very impressive. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so
You
much for
too.
sitting down.